Hello everyone. So our today's topic of discussion is hemoglobin anabolism and porphyrias. So let's start with heme synthesis. Heme synthesis occurs in almost all the tissues, and this process is partly cytoplasmic and partly mitochondrial. So in the flowchart we can see the enzymes which are highlighted are mitochondrial, whereas rest of the enzymes are cytoplasmic. So let's start with the process. In the first step, succinyl coenzyme A and glycine combine and form two molecules of delta ALA. ALA is amino levulinic acid, and this step occurs in the presence of ALA synthase, which is the key enzyme and requires coenzyme PLP, that is pyridoxal phosphate. In the second step, there is formation of 4 molecules of porphobilinogen in the presence of ALA dehydratase. ALA dehydratase is the enzyme which requires zinc. The next step, there is deamination occurring, and we see the formation of hydroxymethylbilane in the presence of PBG deaminase. Then there is formation of uroporphyrinogen in the presence of UPG3 co-synthase. Then there is again decarboxylation in the presence of UPG decarboxylase and formation of coproporphyrinogen. Then there is in the presence of CPG oxidase, there is formation of protoporphyrinogen. Then in the presence of PPG oxidase, protoporphyrin is formed, and finally in the presence of heme synthase, heme is formed. Now let's come to regulation of heme synthesis. Now since we said that ALA synthase is the key enzyme and the first step is the rate limiting step in heme synthesis, therefore it is going to affect this process. Heme represses ALA synthase, or we can say it gives feedback inhibition to ALA synthase. Hematin allosterically inhibits ALA synthase. So first of all, what is hematin? Hematin is formed when a protein part is removed from hemoglobin and iron atom is oxidized. The second thing is a compartmentalization of enzymes. So here some of the enzymes are mitochondrial, whereas some of the enzymes are cytoplasmic. So even this regulates heme synthesis. The main thing is that the key enzyme is mitochondrial. Ferrochelatase and ALS synthase, both of them are inhibited by lead. Barbiturates are drugs which induce heme synthesis. Now let's come to disorders of heme synthesis. So if there is any defect in the synthesis of heme, then it results in a group of inborn errors of metabolism that is called as porphyrias. Porphyrias are characterized by increased production and excretion of porphyrins and or their precursors, and most of the porphyrias are inherited as autosomal dominant trait. So let's have a look at some of the porphyrias. So the first one is acute intermittent porphyria. This is the most common type of porphyria, and it occurs when there is defect in the enzyme PBG deaminase, because of which there is increased level of porphobilinogen in urine as well as blood. The second example is the second type is congenital erythropoietic porphyria. This occurs when there is defect in the enzyme UPG3 co-synthase. The third one is porphyria cutanea tarda, which occurs when there is defect in enzyme UPG decarboxylase. This one is the second most common type of porphyria. The next one is hereditary coproporphyria, which occurs when there is defect in enzyme CPG oxidase. The next one is porphyria variegata, which occurs when there is defect in the enzyme PBG oxidase. Defect in the enzyme heme synthase results in hereditary protoporphyria. So these are different type of porphyrias and their features. So the first one is acute intermittent porphyria, which is inherited as autosomal dominant. So the only porphyria which is inherited as autosomal recessive is congenital erythropoietic porphyria. Rest all of them are inherited as autosomal dominant. So here we can see there is no color on voiding of urine. Precursors which are present in urine is ALA and PBG. Features, very important, abdominal and neurological manifestations and no photosensitivity. And it is hepatic porphyria. It is also called as hepatic porphyria. The next one is congenital erythropoietic porphyria. Here we'll see port wine appearance in urine. Also, there is marked photosensitivity and erythrodontia. Erythrodontia is the key clinical feature of this porphyria. The next one is Porphyria cutanea tarda. As I said, this is the second most common, and here we see uroporphyrins in urine, therefore urine is colored and photosensitivity is present. In hereditary coproporphyria, uroporphyrins are excreted in urine as well as feces, so colored urine is present. Symptoms are similar to acute intermittent porphyria, but they are milder, and photosensitivity is also seen. In the next type, hereditary protoporphyria, neither porphyrins nor their precursors are excreted in urine, and protoporphyrin is increased in plasma, RBCs and feces. So nothing will be seen in urine, only protoporphyrin would be increased in plasma, RBCs and feces, and RBCs are going to show fluorescence. Now in acute intermittent porphyria, there is no color on voiding. This occurs because यहाँ पे यूरिन में यहाँ पे यूरिन में पोरफायरिन के जो है प्रीकर्सर्स आ रहे हैं, ALA एंड पोरफोबिलिनोजन. यहाँ पे पोरफायरिन्स खुद नहीं आ रहे, इसकी वजह से यहाँ पे देयर विल बी नो कलर ऑन वॉइडिंग. और यही रीज़न है कि यहाँ पे फोटो सेंसिटिविटी भी नहीं होती है, क्योंकि पोरफायरिन के जो प्रीकर्सर्स है वो लाइट सेंसिटिविटी कॉज नहीं करते, इसके वजह से. एंड एक्यूट इंटरमिटेंट पोरफायरिया को हम लोग हेपेटिक पोरफायरिया इसलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि इट इज़ अ type of disorder that is going to begin in your liver and then it is going to affect your nervous system. So symptoms are going to occur when toxic compounds are going to build up in your liver and then they are going to pass into your bloodstream and they are going to come in contact with your nerves. That is why it is called as hepatic porphyria, क्योंकि ये शुरू ही liver से होता है. So here comes the case. A 3-year-old male child born of consanguineous marriage presented with blisters on exposed areas since the age of around 6 months. The blisters used to heal with scars. No history of acute attacks. Mental and physical development normal. Reddish colored urine since early infancy. Hypertrichosis on the shoulders, arms and face. Coppery red teeth. Atrophic scars present on extremities and mild anemia. So यहाँ पे 3-4 चीज़ें ध्यान रखनी है. तो यहाँ पे सबसे पहले तो रेडिश कलर आ रहा है यूरिन में अर्ली इन्फेंसी में ही. दूसरा है कॉपरी रेड टीथ. कॉपरी रेड टीथ है मतलब यहाँ पे एरिथ्रोडोंशिया प्रेजेंट है. और यहाँ पे कोई हिस्ट्री नहीं है एक्यूट अटैक्स की. मेंटल फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट नॉर्मल है, इसका मतलब एक्यूट इंटरमिटेंट पोरफायरिया तो नहीं हो सकता. एंड ब्लिस्टर्स है विच आर हीलिंग विद स्कार्स, तो इसका मतलब ये कंजेनाइटल एरिथ्रोपोएटिक पोरफायरिया है. यहाँ पे मेन सिम्टम जो दिख रहा है वो कॉपरी रेड टीथ है एंड रेडिश कलर जो कि इन्फेंसी में दिखता है. हमने देखा था कि कंजेनाइटल एरिथ्रोपोएटिक पोरफायरिया में पोर्ट वाइन अपीयरेंस आता है यूरिन में और एरिथ्रोडोंशिया प्रेजेंट रहता है. इसकी वजह से दिस इज द केस ऑफ कंजेनाइटल एरिथ्रोपोएटिक पोरफायरिया. The second case, a 40-year-old woman presented with abdominal pain for 10 days, severe hydroelectrolytic disorder due to hyponatremia and resistant hypokalemia, persistent tachycardia and hypertension. 7 days later, she developed acute flabby quadriparesis. Quadriparesis मतलब arms और legs में weakness आ जाना. And presented a single generalized tonic-clonic convulsive crisis. Neurophysiological studies supported mixed axonal polyneuropathy and urine results of PBG यानी कि porphobilinogen and porphyrins were elevated. So in this case The main features that we are able to see is abdominal pain, hyponatremia, hypokalemia, tachycardia, hypertension, and सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट quadriparesis and generalized tonic clonic convulsive crisis. Along with this, polyneuropathy is also present, और उससे भी ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट पोर्फोबिलिनोजन यूरिन में है. तो इसका मतलब दिस इज acute intermittent porphyria. So this is it. Thank you.